Hello, everyone. I'm the okayest bassist, and this is the BASSics. Let me zoom in a little bit. The BASSics Volume 43. Today, I have a special guest instructor. We have been called the most boring duo in all of bass production, so get your hopes up high. We have the infamous Chris Volpini. There
Get
he
your
be.
hopes high, set your bars low.
Sure. Get high, whatever, however it is they want to party. I mean, we
Whoa.
might be more entertaining if they're under the influence of something. So today, the lesson is on chord sheets, master sheets, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to go ahead and change to that screen. So on your screen, hopefully it's not too small. You can see here, this is one of the master sheets I typed up at church. So this is for the song Trading My Sorrow. It has a very basic beat. It's not just playing a root on the note and that's it. But I thought it would be a good one to kind of show. Chris is going to attack himself. That's good.
Sorry,
That's it's your stuff. You don't have to
gravity.
apologize to me.
Gravity got me again.
Gravity, it's
That's exactly what I
working.
was talking about because I've played
Yeah,
that songs enough times to hate it.
there you go. So, what we have here is a song that has a very basic beat, the beat of the song with these notes, of course, A, D, then F sharp minor, which the minor doesn't really matter to us if you're playing a single string, and then E. And like when I played it at church, I played that exact thing the entire song. Those beat, 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 bop, bop, bop. That was it. So, in order to use one of these chord sheets, it's at least out of all the ways I know, it's the most simple way to be able to play along with a song if you've not memorized that song, if you don't have a whole bunch of skills like I have none, to be able to play along with a band, or even if you're just sitting at home, you could pull up the chord sheet and you'd be able to play along with the song while you're practicing. So Chris is here because he has way
Hmm.
more experience at playing bass than I do, especially playing it where anyone would want to listen. So
I don't
he
know
has
about
some
that.
thoughts and opinions, and we're going to let him share that before we jump into the like instructional side.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I actually said it while we were in preparation. But the way I always view charts is, especially, I mean, it always depends on environment, right? And all that. The way I view charts and everything is when I get them is same way I approach cover music in general is just at the end of the day I do what I'm told. If they just give me the but if I'm not told to do something, then I kind of if they just give me a chart and no further guidance, then I'm going to do what I'm hearing in my head. I'll stay within the chart will be guardrails essentially, but I'm going to drive wherever I think is best in the road. Now, say I do that at rehearsal and they say, no, we want you to play the chart. Of course, I'm going to play the chart because at the end of the day, it's a support instrument and that's our job is if somebody is designated as being in charge and that person says, I want you to do this, then you just do it. I've had I played a lot in churches too. I don't anymore. And I've had it go both ways in that environment. I've had music, what do they call it? Music ministry leaders or whatever. I've had them say, do whatever you want. And I've had ones that said, nope, just play the chart. And I just play the chart then. So I guess my answer is it would depend on this scenario, what I would do.
So when like I just played for everybody, and like we talked about before we went in, the song itself, the basic beat is just the. So I'm going to add in. should be add in the other camera. There we go. So I personally like if you listen to this song, you'll hear, because as a newer player, which I still consider myself, even though I've been playing for years, I want to play the easy ones. So the A and the D being the fifth fret, that's easy. I mean, you could also play the open if you want to, but usually my hand's right around here anyway. So I'm playing on the fifth fret. Then for the F sharp minor, if you wanted to keep your hand economy, you might just want to slide up to that B string, but that does not sound right. It doesn't sound right to go. Doesn't sound good to drop. So it actually goes up. So it would be the you're going up to your next string, and then you're doing the fourth to the second. So that's how I do it. Now, Chris said he has played this song numerous times, so he plays a little more liberally, let's say.
Well, again, that was the
just the
environment.
straight. Well, yeah, but if you're given free reign,
yes, yeah.
So if you were playing along with this song, again, I use this one as the example because it is just that straight beat. There, even when you go to the chorus, when you go to the bridge, it is the exact same thing. It's kind of like Feel Good Inc. It's the same lick the whole way, except in Feel Good Inc. there's a break, and there's two, and then there's one little breakdown. Anyway, we're talking about Trading My Sorrows. So on this one, it is the same. You could get away with just the whole song. If that's all they want, they can do it. Chris is going to give an example of if you have a little more leeway and they're fine.
Well, I mean, again, the discussion before we went live, the particular environment I was in when I was playing this song, we had a hand percussion guy, and he had a habit of like putting like everything into like it almost went into like an Afro beats thing, and I really love that music. So I was always trying to like, and again, I was told by the director to do whatever I want. So I was always trying to match his energy, just because I am like, there's a band called Orchestra Baobab that I'm super into, and there's a singer, like there's just a lot of like Afro bands that I really love, and so I would always try to match his energy because it was like a chance for me to play that kind of music, because I don't really get that chance often. So it was just I just went it was just bouncier and it was a little bit percussive.
Hello, Dino.
It was just to give it.
I mean, and if you've got someone who's driving energy, if your percussion behind you, your drummer, whatever, if they're bringing all the energy, and then you're just in the background playing what I was playing, it could almost bring the whole group down.
Yeah, because like that's the thing, is you can say that I have an inconsistent approach, or you could say like, as far as my mindset, my approach is consistent. I always just, whatever the drummer's doing, I'm going to try to I'm just going to try to find my place. If the drummer's putting an Afro swing on it, I'm going to try to add to that. So, but that's always my approach, is just kind of do with the song what I'm hearing, but that could lead you in a lot of different paths. So it's not like,
Well, it's like what I was saying earlier. Now that I have this camera up, you could play the simple lick, the simple melody. You could play it on the fifth. Of course, you can octave it wherever you want. Some people like to play open strings if they want. So, I mean, you could do but you could also play it with the open, and then you're right up here, and you're not really moving around that much. So
Well,
I
and
mean,
you have
there's
a
all
B, so
sorts.
you could go. Well, you have a B, so you could go from A to low D to lower F sharp to open E or whatever. Um, there's always, and that would depend for me anyway. If the keyboard had a heavy left hand, then I wouldn't do that because I'd be worried about it muddying everything. I would
Yeah.
play in the mid register just like you were just doing. Um, so that's I'm always like, go to the situation and adapt to it. Don't try to shoehorn things. If it doesn't feel natural, probably not natural. And then at the end of the day, just understand that you have a band leader and they're telling you to do something, you got to do it. Take your ego out of it. Yeah. See,
So
like
you tune your 5-string to drop A.
I mean, people do it. I don't do it, but I can't do alternate tunings. That's a weird thing about me.
I'm gonna go ahead and take out
so
that
much.
other camera.
It's so much easier for me to add strings than to change the tuning. Like if something's in drop D, I'm just going to use a 5-string.
Yeah, and
I
I've talked about it on here before too. The like alternate tunings, or one of the lessons. It was a little while back, but one of the lessons it was on Feel Good Inc., which is a half step down, or
like a half step.
The Game by Motorhead. Yeah. It's a half step down. So those two are examples which you can look at it a couple of ways. Like when I'm looking at it, like if every string is a half step down, then your standard tuning in my brain anyway. I just have to remember, similar like when I play acoustic guitar at church, if I have a capo, it's tuned the way it's tuned. It's just I have a capo, which you can use a capo on a bass if you want to, but I mean,
there's that picture of Paul McCartney doing it, I guess.
Well, if Sir Paul McCartney is going to do it, then
I made more money at it than I did. So.
But
he made more money at it today than I have my entire life.
While he was asleep.
Yeah.
But the other thing on it, like my brother-in-law is. I'm gonna turn this light off. There we go. I look slightly less pale now. My brother-in-law is a big fan of the group Mudvayne, and their song,
great bass player. I like that. They're on my lifting mix for sure. I like Mudvayne.
Like I listened to, it was a video I found on YouTube, and it was like top metal bass intros or licks, things like that. And their song Dig was on there, and I was like, that sounds really cool, and I know if I practice it, that's within my wheelhouse, like most of it, not all of it by any stretch. And then I pulled it up, and the tuning is F sharp B, F sharp B, and then I think D or something like that, and I immediately gave up on it. It's like I don't know what type of like power line cable I need to have to be able to do a drop F
Well, the
sharp.
multi-scale will help you with that.
I have plenty of those.
Yeah, that helps.
Like I've got the Dingwall, I've got Albedo, but still like F sharp, like like that's a lot, and plus it doesn't help that I'm using the tapes, which have the low tension anyway. So
you would have to use.
If I put tapes down to F sharp, I'm having no sound because it's just going to be.
You'd have to have like heavy gauge. I mean, I guess you could do flats if you wanted to, but it'd have to be like really heavy gauge strings. And I don't know, like doing a half step or something like that. I could do that. I would still probably just grab a 5-string and do it that way. But
yeah.
But if whatever, in a pinch or whatever, I could do that. But when like I don't know, it's just a mental thing. I just keep forgetting, and then I play like I'm playing in standard. I'm like, this isn't right.
Yeah, it's one
easier
of the things like when I'm playing rhythm acoustic at church, I will do anything to not like there are two songs that we had in our entire normal song list
Mm-hmm.
that are that the previous people on guitar when they had the master sheets that they downtuned. They downtuned to E flat so they could play, and then they just capoed with everything, and I absolutely hate it. So
Yeah.
I've done. I'll if it's in E flat, you can capo it, and then you can play it at. I'm trying to remember. I think you capo it and you play it as D. It's like
Mhm.
that's easy enough. There's no. I'm not down. I'm not capoing every song but this one so that I can play. No,
I just,
no.
yeah, I just, especially when people are doing it multiple times in a set, I can't do it.
Howdy, Pastor Groove.
um,
Yeah, and I mean that's one good thing is that I always have a five. So
yep.
if there's a song that's in E flat and I want to play the low E flat, I have it. But I mean also if it's a song that has an E flat in there somewhere, but I'm up playing in the higher range, then I can always just I can play the higher one too. Like it's not a huge deal, but yeah. And I like the five for that because there are
Yeah.
a lot of the religious like gospel songs that end up having like an E flat in it. And every time I was playing a four string, I was like, I don't want to play this really high note because it doesn't sound that good when
Well,
everything else
yeah,
is dun dun dun
and a
dun
lot of
dun dun
most
dun.
churches too. They like you're playing pretty subby. Most of the churches I've played anyway, they want it low. So I mean that I
I
almost
think the highest like total register song we play is oh dang it, what is it? Call on me, brother, when you need a friend. Sometimes in our lives, we need somebody to lean on me. There we go. I knew I'd get there. Like I think total register that has the highest. Anyway, whatever it is, I have it here somewhere. Yeah, something like that.
you know what's sad is I play this with Aristotle all the time, and it took me way too long.
Yeah. I use Pastor Groove says I use a pinch simple pitch effect on my HX Stomp XL
Yeah.
for E flat or D.
Yeah, that's like the what you call it, the drop pedal. Incredibly useful tool. Again, I, yeah, I just because I played in a cover band too, where we had two lead singers, and one sang everything as recorded, and the other was saying everything a half step down. And they were like, "Hey, man, you're gonna have to buy this." You know, when I did the audition and got the part, they were like, "Hey, man, you're gonna have to buy this this pedal, this drop pedal," because and they explained to me, and I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna use a 5 string," and I had to like they didn't understand. I had to convince them why, and the drummer was like. The drummer is still a good buddy to this day. The drummer was he was trying to help me explain it to them, and it was just they didn't understand why I didn't need this drop pedal because I was using a 5 string. And but oh man, that band was a lot of fun.
I can. It's. I'm trying to imagine what could be missing in someone else's knowledge to not understand. I'm gonna have an extra low thing
Well, you
to
know,
play. I'm just saying, like I'm trying to. I
drummer
anytime I
singer.
think of something, I
So
always try to put myself on both sides of an argument.
yeah,
So I'm trying to think like I guess like you said, if they're a singer, if they're just a singer and they're like, yeah, the last guy had this thing and that worked, you're gonna need
and
that.
here's the other thing too. Like we're all here because we're fucking nerds about this stuff. Like some people are casual musicians, you know.
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's just it's just a bigger deal to us. So like, it's something to giggle at, but it's not something to like. It was just a
Oh
funny
no.
funny story.
I wouldn't give someone problems or trouble over. It's just like I said, I'm just trying to think like I guess if you're just a casual, hey, I only sing
Yeah, I
for
sing
this thing.
karaoke and I do this cover band thing, to give me as a break from my, law job, my law office or whatever. Like, cool. Some of those are the most fun bands. Being in bands with those types it's always fun because that's why they're doing it. So that's the
Hey, you're the
priority.
music guy. We need you to do the thing, and then we're
Well,
gonna have fun.
and I'm not a drop dead theory guy either. I know enough, but I'm not an expert by any means.
I do find, like you said, that I think you put a very good term on it, at least for me, of the we're nerds for this, because like I started learning just because hey I want to know how to do that. I like music. I want to know how to play. But then after starting to play at the church, I found out like hey, just because you can use this kind of thing right here, this chord sheet, and sit at home, that does not mean you can play with a band. Just because you can sit by yourself and go doesn't
Well,
mean
yeah,
when your drummer is sitting there going and you're going, oh, when do I play?
yeah,
So I think it's funny because I like I don't watch television. Like there isn't a television show that oh my gosh the new episode of this is out. I'm I'm a YouTube connoisseur, and it's hey cool the new Chris Volpini episode just dropped. I'm gonna watch that.
yeah.
That's
It's only
like
3 years old.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like I have I don't know 17, 20 channels to which I'm subscribed, and I think all but two or three of them are bass related. So if someone releases a video, I watch that video. Now if
Yeah,
it's like Scott's bass lessons, I'm subscribed to them, but when they release an hour long video that is them talking about here's the bad thing that happened to me when I was on an international flight. And it's like, okay, I'm never going to fly international with a bass. I'm not watching this for an hour. It's like how I presume people are when the BASSics goes
yeah.
uploaded. They're just
Well,
like,
I mean,
that's just Travis and Chris prattling on for an hour. Maybe I need to fall asleep. I'll just put that on in the background. Just
yeah.
take me right out.
Well, I think too is there's a Scott's bass lessons. I mean, you're talking about a monster of a YouTube channel, and
Oh
like
yeah.
it.
But then you have Base the World, who's like one of the largest, and their videos, like all their videos nowadays, are 4 minutes. It's like
Yeah,
this is a thing that we have. Let's jig it out, and then we look at it for 3 minutes, and with a minute of him going, "Here's what it does."
yeah,
Bye,
yeah.
and then we're done. And it's like, good. We're not trying to get to that old-fashioned 10-minute monetization mark. So that's good. Like I appreciate being able to be on a 15-minute break at work, make a sandwich, sit down and open my phone and be like, okay, there are 6 videos uploaded in the last week I haven't watched. Oh, here's a Base of the World one. It's 6 minutes. I can watch that whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, short form. I think it's certain people probably prefer the longer form, and some people prefer the short form. But that's the things about Scott bass lessons, where it's like, I mean, it's a company at this point. They have I don't know how many people they have working, but like it's not
Yeah.
just those two.
Oh yeah. Well, I
And,
mean, just you see Scott, you see Ian, you see Shaz. So there's at least 3, and they mention like 4 or 5 other people
yeah,
about so and so is going
so
to have to remind us. And
they have to, since they've grown to the now they have an obligation. They have employees that and I'm sure they're good dudes, and they want to they want everybody to do well and everything, and so they have to kind of do it all. And I'm sure that there's just some weeks where they're like, oh shit, I don't know what I want to talk about. I don't even know what I want to talk about this week. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, just hey, remember that flight that you had and that shit happened? You guys just
Yeah.
that could be our 45er this week or whatever.
Oh, it's
You
like
know,
how I feel almost probably three out of every four basics that I do is I
yeah.
sit here and I go, what's something I haven't talked about before that I know something about so I can
Yeah.
sound like I'm educated to tell people about it.
So nobody gets it right 100% of the time. Um, but
Hey, 25% of the time, I get it right 100% of the time.
hey, the best hitters in the world are getting like 3 or 4 successes out of every 10 attempts. So something to be said for that.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing too. That's why I've reached out to like you guys, like you, Bully, and all them, been like, hey, what's something people don't know about? And then like when we did about strings, where you can be like, hey, I know a lot about strings. Let me tell you about them.
Yeah, because I'm a nerd. I found it fascinating when I was working for MJC, learning how different alloys and all that, quarter wrap ratios and how to tell if a string is hand wound versus machine wound, and how to tell a bad string from a good string. It's cool. It's cool to me. I like that kind of nuts and bolts type stuff sometimes.
Yeah. And like you said, and I was saying earlier, that I like how you said that we're nerds for this, and I find it really funny because like I started learning more, not because I was sitting at home playing. I started learning more because, kind of like you said with Scott's bass lessons, they have employees, they have a duty to their employees. It's not like, hey, I couldn't come up with anything, so I'm not uploading for the next 3 weeks and our
Yeah,
algorithm's going to crash. So I
it's
uh
a momentum
I
game too, man. You got to keep that momentum if you can get it.
well, and that's like, I got paranoid when I started doing the uploads every week, so I ended up recording what's now, I think, up through January worth of videos, just because I was like, if something happens, if I'm in a car crash and my hand's broken, I don't want to be going, look, this is my cast. I'm going to learn how to slap. I'm going to karate chop these strings. Like, and it's not even that. It's like, if I can't come up with ideas, but I came up with three, I would sit on my one day off while the youngest was at pre-K and the others were at school for the day. I had 3 hours. I would sit and I would record those three videos, being like, cool, I'm caught up. And then when I did that for 3 months in a row, and now I'm 4 months, 5 months, 6 months ahead, that's fine with me. I mean, the momentum's there. I mean, the channel has grown way bigger than I ever thought it would. I figured I'd never reach 100, and I think we're at 220 now, so that's pretty neat. But I think it's funny because you had said that we're nerds about it. I go through now, and if there's content that looks interesting to me, I'll watch it. I watch the bass related content because I want to learn. And then if I'm sitting down and I just want to relax and watch something, I typically find a video of either a bass or a guitar being built, because I find those both relaxing and interesting to see someone who's like, hey, I was out in the middle of the woods and I found this old, like, busted down ash tree, and I chopped a whole bunch of it off with my chainsaw, and this looked pretty cool, so I made a guitar out of it. Like, okay,
Yeah,
that so, but it's funny because now, when I first started at the church, like, everyone there was a musician, which our musical director flat out tells all of us, including himself, we're not musicians. None of us are doing this for a living. Like, we're doing it because we want to do it for the spiritual side, and people in the congregation appreciate what we do. None of us are professionals. If we were professionals, we'd be doing it for a living. And I like that mentality of, like, I only play live at the church. If now, granted, if a good friend of mine was like, hey, you might not know this, but I do music and I could use a bassist, do you want to come play on this gig with me? I would question their sanity multiple times and then probably agree just for fun if I had the time to do it. But I find it funny because like when I started, one of our lead
Out,
singers,
you don't have an ad out anywhere or anything.
no,
So it'd have to be like something you fell into. That's interesting.
it would, yeah, it would have to be like, it would basically have to be what I just said. It would have to be someone I knew who came to me and said, could you come do this with me? And I might do it. Like if I had the free time and my wife was okay with it and we didn't have anything going on, then yeah, I'd probably go do it. But like it's not anything I've asked anybody and I won't. Like I enjoy playing and I play at the church because the likelihood of someone throwing a beer bottle at my head at church is very low. So whereas
Hey,
if
it's
I
never
do,
happened to me.
but it's funny because you say about, we know the things like the uh, pitch, the down drop box thing that you were talking about. Like they said, hey, you're going to need that, and you're like, well, no, I don't. I have this, and you have to explain it. I find it funny because the guy who, one of our two lead singers at the church, the other guy who plays bass, um, when I first started there, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy has legitimate produced albums that have like been put around the world. Like he's obviously not a platinum seller, but like multiple countries in the world, his album went available back when it was just, CDs, it wasn't downloads. And his albums sold legitimately around the world. He sold quite a few here in the US. It's like, that's really cool. So everything he said was, not to make a pun because we are at church, but everything he said music wise was the gospel. It was like, hey, this is how, like when I first started playing bass, hey, you need to play it this way. And the more I've done to learn so I can be better, I find that there are times where he'll be like, hey, you should do that this way. And I go, okay, well, I was figuring it should be done this way because of whatever. And it might be theory based, or it might be like, hey, I listened to that and it doesn't sound like it's just root and fifth back and forth. It sounds like he's actually doing like a chromatic walk. And he might be like, no, you just, that's all you got to do on this. And it's like, well, to me, it sounds like he's going, and he might. So it's funny because I try to get more technical knowledge so that I can be better the way I understand it. And it's funny because like being a nerd, one of the, it was such a stupid video, so stupid, but it was, to me, eye-opening, probably because I'm stupid and it was just above my level, so it opened my eyes. But it showed, like, if you've seen the things where the people have like the rolling silicone trays and they like pick up a mess off their counter without wiping it. Have you seen those things?
Okay.
It was a trend for a while. Like you basically had a silicone mat, you put it over like a cooking board, and the silicone would stick to the stuff and pull it up onto the board, so you didn't have to like get a towel and wipe it. Anyway, while that trend was going around, there was a video. It was like in a professional kitchen, and one guy makes a mess, and the other guy's like, at the captions like, when you learn the new thing, and the guy shows up, he's like, hold on. And he grabs a silicone mat, puts it over the cooking tray, sticks it down, starts pulling it up, and the head chef just walks up and goes and smacks him upside the head and points, and the other guy just grabs a towel, and like 1 second the mess is cleaned up where the other dude's taken 20 seconds. And it's like, oh, I try and do that. Hey, there's this thing that I learned that made me feel smarter about the way I do this musical thing. Look at this. And then I have him who's done this for 60 years, and he's like, don't do it that. Just that's all you gotta do.
Day, it's his call.
Yeah, I mean, and that is the thing. He's not the praise leader. He's not the MD, but he's been there the longest out of everybody. So if he turns around, he's like, hey, that's not the way we do this song. Like, we do this song with this tempo. We do this song in this key. Like, he'll do that all the time. It'll be like, hey, something's wrong. This isn't the right key. And then it's usually look at the keyboard or the piano, like, what key do you have this in? And then it's always something with a flat. And it's like, well, I typed up the master sheet and I went on Ultimate Guitar and found it in G because that looked nice. And now you're telling me it's in E flat. But luckily, I don't know if this matters to anybody, but there is, I can't see it. There's a website. I think it's spelled Logue, Logue. Let me find it because that thing is, yeah, it's Logue, Logue.net. Holy crap, if there was ever a lifesaver for someone who types up master sheets and chord sheets like I do, you can go there and they literally have just, it's an online transposer. You can copy all of your music with the chords. You hit paste. It says, what key do you want it? What key is it in now? It's in C. What key do you want it in? F sharp. Boom. Here you go. Here's your output. And it's the same thing.
I pay for it. Same does the same thing.
Yeah, this thing's just
guitar.
online and free, and I use it all the time.
I'm about to look at it. So, can you text it to me?
Yeah, I'll shoot it over to you.
Yeah, I pay. I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's like $9 a month or something, $10 a month or whatever, $9.99.
I'm gonna post it in the chat too, because
Yeah.
why not?
But it basically does the same thing. Like you type your song or whatever, and it takes you to like either the recording chart, or it'll be so and so's version or whatever, and you can change. There's a little drop down on the side, and you can put it in whatever key you want.
Yeah, and I mean, like Ultimate Guitar is cool for that because they have their built-in transpose now, where you can be like, "Hey, user submitted this as what they think their and then they have their pro version or whatever they call it, which I pay for. I think I pay $20 a year for it, and the only reason I do that is because they have it where you can play along, and it has the like time signatured chords or notes, which is what I've used on here. I just screenshot it and then throw it up so that we can actually see the timing on something. So if you have something weird, something with weird timing to it, like friggin' anything by Tool, then what's the time signature on? Oh, it's in 17/5. That's what this song's in. Do what?
I was never super into Tool.
I'm not. I hear some of their bass lines and I'm like, that sounds like a fun thing just to be able to play while you're not doing anything.
There's a healthy like respect for the music. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was taught. It's funny because the musical director at the church, he's our drummer, and I was playing that 46 and 2 the other day before the other people got there. He and I are usually there way before practice starts, and he goes, "That song's got a weird time signature. What is it?" I was like, "I have no clue. I think it's like 17/5 or something." He goes, "I can't afford those exotic time signatures." I was like, "Me neither. I just listen to what it sounds like and play that. I can't tell you how to count along to it. I don't count along to 4/4 music. I just know what it's supposed to sound like, and that's what I do. I can't do my brain cannot comprehend counting as well as playing things."
I tap my foot, but I don't count.
Yeah, like I do more than I saw a video on it. It was like the guitarist in disguise or something like that, and it showed like 4 different bass players, and you got one of them's making bass face something fierce. The other one is just standing there, just completely unemotional, playing the song.
That used to be me.
And
now I kind of play.
Yeah, well, then there was one who it was like a gospel in there, Ray Charles going back and forth, and then there's one who's like bouncing up and down, going from place to place, kicking their feet out, and it's like, which one of these is the guitarist in disguise? And I was like, I hope it's not the last one, because that's me. I dance. I don't like break down and do the monkey and everything, but if it's a song with energy, I'm usually bouncing up and down because it's fun. I don't want to just be standing there automaton. But it is funny because like Bully, and then when we've all been together at NAMM or at the Nashville Bass House, like I play, I'll bounce, I'll move, but I don't have a bass face. I don't have the
I'm like,
no
I don't know. I'm not much of a mover in general. Like
mover and shaker.
yeah. So I'm
Did you turn your lights off or did it just get
no.
really dark?
The sun comes through. I can turn a light
Oh,
on.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
it's fine. I noticed it kept getting darker, and right now all I can see is your head.
You can see a lot. All right. Where you at, kid? Does that help?
Hey. Like your dark shirt, all I could see was from your collar up. You were just a head
Yeah,
floating.
camouflage.
There you go.
But yeah, the sun sets on this side, so
No, like you'd said about Tool. Like, I mean, I think your words are probably fitting. Like, it's a healthy respect. It's like, wow, like to just be able to
I don't know how you
like
come up with stuff like that. Like
coming up with it's weird, and then the other side is like, I think if someone were to ask me like, hey, what would you say is your favorite? Like my brother-in-law is the one who got me at all started with Tool. He was like, you like bass? Listen to these guys. And then I think it was Schism that he sent me, and I was like, well, I find out now that it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna the Gateway Tool song,
it's
because
like
apparently
the stairway. It's like the base equivalent of Stairway to Heaven.
it's the bass equivalent to Wonderwall. Sitting by the campfire, hey, I know how to play bass.
Yeah.
Yay. But
Hey.
it was funny because like the how to come up with all those weird polyrhythms is one thing. The other thing I find interesting is like what the notes are and the arrangement are really interesting. But the thing I would say impresses me most for Justin Chancellor is how cleanly he can play.
Yeah.
Like hearing that, like he's playing these fast and weird things, and there is nothing that I hear of
He's
any
a pick
muddy.
player, I think.
I don't know,
I think he is.
but like in Schism or 46 and 2 or all these things that have these crazy rhythms, and it's like there is no, now obviously if you're listening to the album version it's gonna be super clean, but like even the live ones that I've heard, like there's not muddy, it's just great technique.
Yeah, I don't believe I've ever seen him live, but I think Justin Chancellor plays with a pick. I mean, I don't think it helps or hurts anything. It's kind of a useless fact. But yeah, I mean, I always felt that way about is it Robert DeLeo, Stone Temple Pilots? It's a DeLeo. I can't remember. It's either Tom or Rob, but I always thought that about his bass lines. If you ever listen to Stone Temple Pilots, just listen to the bass lines, and they're like, I don't know how the dude came up with them. I would have never thought to do that on a lot of those songs.
Robert DeLeo.
Rob,
something like
I think it's two brothers, and the other one's a guitar player. I think he might be Tom.
Dean.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Rob and Dean. It's it's like Supernatural.
Yeah.
Let's get that fan base after us.
Sure my wife's downstairs watching.
I've watched up through a very good friend of mine from college was like, hey, you started watching Supernatural? I was like, yeah, you've told me a lot about it. She goes, do you mind watching a show that kind of sucks for a while? I was like, what do you mean? She goes, if you really like the show at the end of season 4, tell me. And I was like, it's all right. She goes, don't watch past season 5. I was like, what do you mean? She goes, it gets really weird and then it sucks for a while, but then it gets really good again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what, it has like a bad season or 2? She's like, no, it's like 5 or 6 seasons. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna watch a
really
show
like
and be like, "This is great," and then spend that exact same amount of time going, "Oh, I don't like this show."
like I like it, but I know that it's it's not good. Like I just like it. Like
It's
like
entertaining.
I don't watch it like my wife does, but like I don't. If she's watching it, I'm not like mad about it. It's fine.
I did tell that friend of mine did say that she
I like old
cannot.
cars. There's old cars all the time in it. So
That friend of mine did say that she loves the show so much that she cannot hear Kansas's Wayward Son without being sad now, because that means that they're gone for a season. It's like, okay,
the funny episodes are like they're pretty good.
I
Man,
lost my
like
shoe.
the like there's one where the one keeps dying. It's
Oh yeah, where it's supposed to be the trickster, but it ends up being the archangel Gabriel, who's trapped them in like Groundhog Day.
I have no idea. But
Yep,
I just
that's what
remember him
happened.
dying a bunch, and it was funny.
Yep, so many it's like Groundhog Day, except where Dean dies
There's
every
one where
day.
he's like, they're like eating tacos. He's like, "Does this taco taste funny?" And
Yeah,
he's
just
dead.
dead.
It just cuts to the in dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's up, bully? You gonna join us? We're just kind of hanging out now. Did the lesson. I showed a sheet and I said you could play with it. That's about as much as I did. This definitely wasn't a thought that I had an hour and a half ago and decided to do one screenshot and say this is my lesson. Nope. So is that the new one that you're playing right now? The new old one?
Yeah, it's 72 precision. It's gonna have to go into the shop. It needs a refret. Some frets are buzzy and there's not enough left to salvage it. So
you get you some JB Weld and you just slide it
no,
across there and
I'm
then you
gonna do
file
it right,
that
man.
down.
I'm gonna make this thing play. I don't. It already like the pickup was fried, and I might get it if I ever decide to sell it, I'll probably get it rewound. But I stuck I have shit all over the place. I have precision pickups for days. But
Like
the way
different
I
parts everywhere.
I do. I have a lot of stuff. But the way I got this bass was so it was kind of a cool story. They I work at that music store, but we're also like an art school. And this lady whose brother unfortunately passed away was a touring musician. And he had learned at our shop. So she wanted to do like a scholarship type deal. Well, a grant, not really a scholarship, but for, like somebody to get free lessons and stuff. So we were doing all that stuff, and the event was going to be a Chinese auction. And she said, "Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff donated. Someone donated a bass guitar." And I was like, perked my ears up. I was like, "Oh, what was it?" She goes, "Oh, it's an old Fender." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "So, how do we enter this drawing?" And she said, "Well, for that, we're doing a ticket board, and she's like, there's going to be 100 tickets, and tickets are $5 each." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Like
how old is this
$500,
Fender?
I guarantee to win.
Yeah. I was like, "So how old is this Fender?" And she's telling me, I'm like, could you do me a favor and bring that into the shop and we'll look it over, and maybe we can figure out exactly what it is and stuff. So I came in the shop. We took the neck off. It's a 72, a December 72, and it's not a Frankenstein or anything. It's all the. I'm not super well versed, but our technician is certified for it. And he was like, yeah, it's a 72. It's all original. Blah blah blah. Well, we took it when we took the neck off. We did notice, okay, the pick guard has been swapped because it's not the right kind of plastic. He said. So, and then when we took that off, one of the pots had been changed. So we're like, okay, so it's not all original, but it's original enough. We went to plug it in,
Let's
nothing
say it's
happened.
still 53 years old. So
Yeah, so we went to plug it in, nothing happened, no sound. So it does have a bad grounding hum. We're gonna fix that too. I don't know if you might be able to hear that.
I
No,
don't.
you don't hear anything. It's not like I've had worse, but it's gonna get fixed. Um, so so they brought it in. I'm like, man. So I had a pickup, and I was like, I'll give you guys this pickup, and it's a Fender Custom Shop 62. I don't even know why I have it. And I was like, well, I don't care about this pickup, so I'll donate it. And if I knew I was entering the drawing. I was like, if I win, I'll put something else in it. And so uh, I told the lady, I was like, look, like you, I know it's all profit, but you losing this bass for $500 is, I said, it's worth way more than that. I said, I'm not an appraiser or anything. I was like, like an all original 72, which this is not. I mean, they're going for like between 4 and 5. It looks like 4 and 5 thousand, not 4 and 500. And I said, here's the deal. Like, it's not. I said it's not all original or anything, but you know, I'll give you $1,000 for it. Um, and that'll be double what you're expecting, and it's still a good price. I said, we know it needs a refret, and it's not all original, so $1,000. I said it's still low because I still think you could get like on the open market at least two. I would say even with an aftermarket pickup and all that. And she was like, no, she was like, I would do that, but we've already advertised.
Hmm.
I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well, here,
I'm gonna buy 500 tickets.
I bought 40 or something like that, and then I think she gave me some extras because I donated the pickup and got it all diagnosed. We fixed all the little issues with it.
Sure.
Um, and and her dad, he came and they didn't even sell all the tickets. There were six left, and her dad was like, "Well, I'm going to buy all six so they get the max money for it," and he won. so so her dad's a regular customer, and he came and she texted me and she was like, "Well, you didn't win." I was like, "Yeah, that's about right." She's like, "My dad won. He only bought the tickets because we didn't sell out." And so he comes to the store and he's like, "If you donate $1,000 to the scholarship, it's yours." And so it's like definitely. Um,
Yeah.
and so that's how I got it. And we it needs some stuff. It needs a refret. It's going to get that. I might get the pickup rewound, but honestly, I think it sounds fine.
I'd
As
say
it
it
is.
sounded fine on this anyway.
Yeah, it's P bass with flats. It's that's what I like. Um, but it has it's missing the front cover, but I have some foam under there,
Hmm.
bridge cover. But I'm just gonna leave it like this. It's not gonna see a lot of gigs or anything. It's gonna be a stay at home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like this thing that I've been playing. I have this. I found it on Reverb. It had a weird story with it.
Hmm.
The music shop, there was a music shop somewhere in Taiwan, and it had a fire.
Mm.
And apparently, this was in the shop, and the headstock got smoky. Like you can see where it would
Yeah,
say Chord,
yeah, you can see it. I
and then
mean,
you
but
can see,
honestly, it's such a busy piece of maple that it doesn't really, it's not
Yeah.
noticeable.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, it's hard to, it's a
Yeah.
lot darker, but
Yeah.
I mean, the tuners got a little toasty. They're missing a little bit of the paint.
You have that
But
when they do like whatever that is, burl poplar or whatever.
yeah.
Top with the headstock. Sometimes they use different pieces, and the headstock will be a different. It'll be like super light or super dark.
Yeah.
So it's still like, I don't know. I mean, it's a cool story either way.
Yeah, and I got it for a really good. I think with shipping and all, I got it for right at 500, and these sell for like 12, 13 new. They usually go for 6 or 7.
For a quart.
Yeah.
I knew the Jeff Berlin bass was up there, but it has like the Bartolinis and the.
Well, this has the Bartolini MK1, and it's super frustrating because so does the Space 5. Oh, you can't see it. The Space 5 right there on the farthest edge. It has the MK1s, and it has the volume as a push-pull for passive. This has a switch for passive, but guess what you need to have in this bass at all times, even if it's in passive?
Battery.
A battery.
Huh.
You don't have to have it in the other one. It's something they did to this model. And it's stupid, and I hate it. Because I got it, and I cleaned it. It had I got a buffer and went through and just like not sanding or anything, but just polished it off, and there was a whole bunch of still like smoke residue that had kind of sunken in because it's still decently open pore. Cleaned the headstock real well, took all the tuners off, put them in the soap cleaner bath stuff to make sure that everything was working right and I didn't have to replace the tuners. But I was so upset because I did all of that, put in, because the person had recorded a video, they put new rounds on it. I'm sure they were the cheapest they could find, but they put new rounds on it and showed me that it made noise. Well, I got it here and did all of the cleaning, put it all back together, plug it in, and there was nothing. And I was like, oh no. I did not open the cavities. I didn't touch any controls. I literally just cleaned things and the headstock. I did take the tuners off, but that's not going to make the electronics not work.
No.
And I messaged the person. I was like, I cleaned it, because they even had said, you're going to want a good cleaning. Like they said it still smells of smoke. I was like, well, yeah, it's open pore.
Why did they just clean it?
Well, I don't know. But I ended up doing all that, and then I messaged them. I'm like, it's not working. They're like, can you send me a video? And I was like, absolutely. So I recorded multiple videos of it. Like I had a video that was me with the wireless system plugged into whatever bass was next to it. Pluck strings, make sound, unplug, plug into Chord, pluck strings, turning knobs the other way, flipping switch. And they go, did you put a battery in it? I was like, no, it's in passive. No, it needs a battery. I was like, it's in passive. Doesn't need a battery. And they're like, no, this model does. You can look it up with Chord. And I did. And it does. There is no actual passive mode. And it irritates me because I don't know enough.
And the pickups aren't.
No, because the Space right here, it has the exact same, the MK1s.
Well, the MK1s aren't, they're passive pickups.
Yeah. But I don't know enough about how to mess with all the stuff under here to make it passive.
I mean, at that point, I would just get a aftermarket something or other, get a Tone King or a John East or something,
But yeah, that's the thing though. Like I don't know enough about to swap those. Like I know how to install EMGs, because you take the thing and you plug it in and you're done.
Just trash it. It's all chaos. Just that's what I
thought about it. I have it listed. As long as I can break even on it, it's fine with me. I don't want to go mess. It has a cool story. I don't want to go tearing into it and doing anything else to it if I don't have to. If nobody buys it, then I'll end up, of course, still have it. But it sounds nice. I think it does. I mean, I think it sounds okay. I mean, it is of course, being colored heavily by the 50-watt Glen Hughes orange that's over there. So it is what it is. Oh, here's a question for you. I was going to put it up in our little chat group, but I found a GK, whatever it is, MB108, the 8-inch, the little 30 watt. I found one of those for under $200, and they normally sell for $4.
GK,
And
what is it?
the
MB08?
MB, it's their little combo, 30-watt combo.
MB08?
108, I believe, is the model number.
Yeah, I don't understand why their stuff's so expensive.
But there's one available on Guitar Center Musicians.
$400 for a bedroom amp.
Do what?
I mean, 400. I'm just looking at them on Sweetwater. $400 for a bedroom amp.
Yeah, but there's a used one with Musician's Friend Guitar Center, however you want to look at it. Says good shape. I look at the pictures. It doesn't look like there's a hole in it or anything like that. So I'm torn because I want one. Like, I've not played through a GK. I could have.
I have nothing bad to say about the amps. I didn't have a great experience with the company. I have nothing bad to say about the actual amplifiers. I was quite happy with them.
Well, because you switched from them to Trickfish, right?
I did. Mm-hmm. I was never like officially with GK. We did, but I think, I was getting the pricing or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is.
Now,
I still want to. I've been trying to. I really want to carry them in the store actually because I think it would do well.
Trickfish, though, they don't have like a small combo, right?
They're releasing one, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be a 112, and it's Trickfish, so it's going to be up there price wise. But
what does is that like more than a GK or?
What's a GK 112?
I think their 112s
like their Gucci 112 if they have. Let's see.
They're like 5 or 6.
I mean, I'm not privy to any pricing. This is just me spitballing.
Oh yeah, no. I just wondered because like the orange is awesome, and in all honesty, before I would buy much of anything else, I would probably end up just getting I would probably try the cab from.
Well, you run direct at your church, correct?
Oh yeah, this would just be for at home. Because at church they have, what is it, the Aguilar tone hammer, like pedal preamp thing that's a direct box.
Okay.
And we just run it as a DI.
So GK's priciest 112 is looks like it's $14.99. So I would say I would expect, Trickfish, it's I believe a better product and it's more expensive. It's not to say that, anybody's wrong for liking anything else, but in my opinion, even if it's more than that, I'd still be interested in it.
Fair enough.
It already matches up the extension cabinets and stuff I have. So if I want to start doing that stuff, it already matches and everything. But also, I just like their amps enough to.
Yeah, like I'm on Reverb, and I typed in Trickfish, went to the categories, went to bass amps, and there is no combo at all.
It's not released yet. It's coming out.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's not one at all. Like, I get not on Reverb anyway.
Yeah, if you follow their social media, they've been promoting it on there. I forget they posted a date that they're going to drop, but I don't remember when. So that's when they'll probably be on the website and everything.
Fair enough.
Hopefully they'll fix the spacing in the words on the website. Honestly, at home though, my favorite thing to run through is just my interface and I have these Yamaha powered speakers, um, the eights, HS8s or SH8s or something.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If I was gonna like the price on that 25-watt GK is less than half. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Musicians Friend Guitar Center. You'll have to pay shipping most likely, unless like you call the store and they've had it a while and they're willing to do free shipping.
Yeah.
But the other the other thing on it is that I have the Positive Grid Spark 2 and they have their cab, which is I think 140 watts, and it's a 110. I don't know if it has tweeters or not, but I've also thought about getting
Do
it
they
because then
do they have a bass amp?
their stuff is both. They put all of their
Well,
stuff
I
as.
have what's the little PA? The Spark Live.
I thought about getting one of those, but
I love it.
everything I read says that the cab, if you obviously the live, it's like the Spark 2, you can just pop the battery and you've
Mhm.
got hours of play. But I have the Spark 2, so it has the battery. So if I just wanted better sound at home for bass, everything I read says the cab will do better because it has the 10 as opposed to the and even Positive Grid says it on their site. Like there's a
Oh,
question of like what would do better. I've thought about it, and I can get one decently discounted through Tim at Sweetwater,
mhm.
but like I've thought about it, and if I get anything else as an amp, it'll probably be that. I would like to play with the GK because like after AMP put out his video and was talking about like the serialized EQ as a which doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to put everything at noon probably and leave it. But it is interesting. But Positive Grid having what did they have? They have one I think it's called like the RB something or other, and it's a GK clone. Is one of them on there, which both.
Well,
Uh,
I wanted the live because we actually use the band uses it to do because
yeah,
a lot of times we'll just do stuff in the woods, and it's like we have this battery powered thing we can all plug into. It sounds good enough, you know.
yeah.
Has a line out to go to our whatever SD card or whatever, and
Does it have so the live? It has like four channels, and
mhm.
then it does it have an out as well in case like you did your whole setup but then could go out to a larger PA, or is it just itself?
It has a USB out. I don't remember.
Okay.
I have to go look at it. I don't remember if there's an XLR. I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't see why not, but I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm about to say like it was when it first came out, I was sorely tempted to get a live just because it was
I
I
think I
had this.
reserved it at Sweetwater when I saw it because I was like, we were just starting to try to up our content game, and I was like looking at all this stuff. I was like, man, it's all so expensive, and that thing came out. It was like $500 or whatever. I was
Yeah.
like, sold.
Yeah, $80
We're
for a
gonna at least.
battery, and like you said, you fully charge it. You can even keep an extra battery, so it's like,
I do.
hey, give us just a
Yeah.
minute.
Yep.
Done.
That's exactly what I do. And I have two batteries, and just make sure they're both charged up. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of that thing. I
And
didn't know
like I
I
said,
didn't know the amps did both. I thought they just I didn't think they had like a bass amp.
yeah, they have it. Even the little like Spark Go, the one that's like on a keychain almost. I think it's a 5 watt. They say it'll do bass. They say the Spark Mini,
So
the
any of the Spark amps is good is like rated for bass too.
they say they can do bass. Now I had a Spark Mini. Now granted, the one I had was used, So there's no telling that someone didn't crank it completely high with massive gain on a pedal board and bust something inside. But I got it. I put the volume to half and started playing because I thought this is perfect. It's a little thing, it's USB chargeable. Like, I'll get a bigger amp if I need to practice super loud, but this would be like a cool thing for like, hey, I'm going to go to bass house. I can throw this in my luggage and take it with me just so I have something to listen to myself play on an electric instrument. And I had the volume on 5 and I tried to play and it was just so again, it could have been that the one that I had, someone had torn it up because I did buy it used. The guy let me return it. I even sent him a video of it. I was like, this is what I'm getting on like half or less. And the guy was like, yeah, it never did that for me, but I played guitar, so that might be. But the first Spark 40 I had sounded to me almost as good as the Orange Crush 25 that I had. But it had the effects, and at that time I played guitar as much as I played bass. So it was like this one amp does both things. So I got rid of the Orange, and then that one ended up, I went to do a firmware update, and that was on the original Spark 40. So you had to plug it into a computer. You had to go through these steps, and it bricked. It bricked the whole thing. Like, it had no sound output except as a Bluetooth speaker. So Positive Grid replaced it. And the next one I got in, as soon as I turned it on and hit, it didn't matter if it was guitar or bass, the speaker was shot. It was just buzzing and horrible. So they replaced that one. But when they replaced that one, they made me send it back first instead of sending me a replacement first. They were like, well, we made an exception last time. I was like, it's literally the same exchange. What you sent me is the problem. And they were like, nah, we can't do that. You have to send it to us first. I was like, so y'all are doing like 2 overnight labels then? Like, no, it's going to be standard ground unless you want to pay for the labels. Like, I'm not paying you guys to replace what is defective from you immediately as soon as I open it. But
so I can promote Trickfish. Sorry to interrupt, but that's so the first Trickfish rig I got. I was doing like it was a random gig. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It was at this there's this coffee shop bar thing in Morgantown where it's like where Tyler Childers used to play and stuff. And so we were doing like this acoustic gig there, and I remember I was playing a Gibson Midtown bass. It was like a 335 kind of, had the mud, but it had the mudbucker and the little mini humbucker in the back.
And a headstock that was attached.
Yeah, it's one of the few Gibson basses that I really like. I don't have one anymore, but because they've all ended up having issues, so I got rid of them. But that's Gibson. But the amp blew. It started. It has these. It's the Bullhead 1000, and it has these frequency selectors across the top that are blue, and they light up, and they all started flashing red. And
that's probably supposed to happen.
Yeah, I was like, that's not good. And it was an acoustic gig. I had it on like 2, so it wasn't like I was even pushing it. And it started making this terrible noise, and I was like, well, all right. And I just ran direct. I had a DI box, so I just ran direct the rest of the night. But it was fine. But I sent them an email. I sent them sent them a video of what it was doing. And I was like, hey man, like I have a show Friday and I don't have an amp right now. And so those dudes overnighted me a new head, and they were like, just send, but there's gonna be a label, just send it back. Yeah. The broken one back in the
in the same box.
Yeah, I had it at my had it for my show.
And that's the thing, like,
and that's 2 overnights that they did. Like that, it wasn't cheap
or
on
at
it,
least one.
and they're a small company. That's when I was like, you know what?
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like with Positive Grid, I I finally got that third Spark 40, and it wasn't as good as the first one. Like it wasn't. I tried to play bass with it, and you could not turn it up. On that one, I could not turn it up for bass over like half volume, or it would start buzzing and farting out. So I was like, okay, this sucks, but I'm not going to deal with customer service again because the first one was maybe just a really good one out of the whole batch. I don't know. So when the Spark 2 was announced, or the Spark Live, because Spark Live was first, I was really tempted, but I was like, if I get this thing and it's not as good as I'm hoping, then do I want to deal with the return stuff? I don't know. I thought about it a lot. And then they announced the Spark 2, and I was like, that's exactly what I want. I want something that can hand it. It's 10 more watts. It's a different design, so it's supposed to be better for bass. It has the battery, which was the biggest thing for me. Like, I really loved that Boss Dual Cube, but I thought it was dumb. You had to pay $50 to get, the Bluetooth MIDI controller to attach into the back of it, so you could use it as a Bluetooth speaker if you wanted. And then it has, I think it's like 9 or 12 AA batteries that it can run on. And I was like, so I can either buy a crap ton of rechargeables, or I'm going to be throwing them away. If I leave them in there and I don't think about it, then what happens if they start corroding?
yeah,
So, and I was like, they literally had a chunk in the back with a proprietary Bluetooth transmitter that you took a cover off, plug the thing in, and run a screw into it so that it can get Bluetooth. You did not include that at the base price. Okay, sure. Maybe there's a bunch of people that really don't care about Bluetooth. Like, I bought one just in case, because I was like, okay, this is a battery thing I can carry with me. If I'm going to take it outside and be playing along with a drum track or whatever, which was the coolest thing to me, was the built-in drums. But I was like, but I really don't want to keep buying boxes of AA batteries and then they go dead, or I have to remember to charge them and then they die, and now I've got to wait 6 hours for the batteries to charge. Like, you made a Bluetooth connector that costs extra. Why did y'all just not make it where you could buy a battery pack that has its own bit, like basically just a freaking like a phone charger battery? You could have just made it where it had one of those with a proprietary wiring system, so that you could slap it on there, put some screws into it, and then it could be self-contained with its own USB charger. Like, had they done that, I wouldn't have gotten rid of it, because I really liked the drum effects that were on it. They were simple, so it worked for me. I used 3 of them. I think there were 16 options. I liked 3, but that's all I needed, because I could come in, I could put a basic drum line and then practice a song to it. But the Positive Grid has that too. I've used their like AI, give me a song with a rock whatever. But I like the Spark 2.
I don't even know if mine has. I've never.
It
Usually
has
that
it.
stuff. Yeah, usually that stuff. I'm like, yeah, like
Yeah, I'll get
I
it
don't
and
even
charge
read
on
the
it.
brochure about it.
Well, like I really like the Spark 2.
Hmm.
The battery backup thing on it's great. It sounds good. It's good for bass. But if I were to give it any negative marks on the Spark 2, it's I like playing as much just as a flat response speaker as possible. So you can go in, you can turn off the amp sim, you can turn off all the effects. But if you do that, it loses so much volume.
Mm.
Like, you can have on the Spark 2, I'm sure the Spark
So
Live is the same way.
gaining the shit out of the effects.
Yeah, like it's the amp sim. Like, if you turn off the amp sim, like I have like the Spark Neos that I use here, the headphones. These are their headphone amp, but it works as a wireless monitor too, which I use these at church just as a wireless monitor because they have good frequency response inside, and I think it's like 4 whatever
I'm really,
millisecond latency.
I'm
So
really thinking about switching to over ears from in ears. It's
I I will
Well,
tell
looks
you,
like,
if you have a 1/4 inch out, I would try these. They were $200 and comes with the transmitter. They
yeah, I
last
know.
hours on a charge. And the weird thing is, though, these have the same problem as the Spark 2. Like when I was trying to make just a this is my monitor amp like setting, I took out the amp sim at first and I had no volume. It was like
Yeah,
all the way cranked up. Everything in the effects are there. But if you put in an amp, then you're coloring everything because, of course, they're curve frequency
another thing I'm
response.
gonna try are like those, those partial earplugs, the Heroes or whatever. Yeah, they don't like it's not a total earplug. Like it just it just deadens everything.
Hmm.
But I've been thinking I might try those. But yeah, I'm just thinking about over ears, like just um, for the hearing protection, because I'm not
Like
good
I said,
in
I
ears.
at $200, I'd recommend trying these if you want something, especially if you'd like something wireless, because these have worked great for me once I figured out how to put the settings right to make them work.
I'm always partial to Audio Technica stuff for that. Um, I don't know, like that's my in-ear rig, and I think I just like the way they do things. So I don't know. I might look at what they have.
Fair enough. Well, sir, it has
Yeah,
been
that
an
time.
hour and 21 minutes that we have talked. It says 2 people are watching. They're probably both asleep at this point because it's our time.
I'm close. Yeah. Um, yeah. Good talk.
I like how somehow my name has the word bass after it. I don't know how that
I think it
happened.
was when you were trying to have like a base view. Maybe
Oh,
you
but I
labeled it.
erase. Ah, well, I'll figure out how to fix it, or my name will be okay as basis space.
There you go.
Whatever. Okay. Well,
Well, I
you
thank you.
guys heard it. Chris just put out a video only 3 years ago, so
Oh
make
man, it's
make sure you,
riveting. I had a real knack for it.
there we go. Thank you for coming on, sir. I very
Mhm.
much appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're welcome anytime.
That's it.
Bye bye. Well, that'll be it for today's stream. I think I already have that zoomed in. So that's, you get to see some curtain and my amp. Yay for you. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.